Skeleton seen in decomposed corpse. The person's partner. The woman ignored the farm warning and crossed the border. Quick decomposition of body tissue. Bone growth quickens. A few seconds later, the woman turned into a skeleton stripped of flesh and blood. A man instinctively wants to hold on to his wife, crossing the line with anything but our arms. The flesh on my hands is like a wife. Rapidly melt. The little boy walked into the depths of the forest, looking for my goat that is fighting zombies. A strange figure appeared not far away. In an hour, the sky will tear apart. The boy's mother realized that her son had not returned home yet. The boy's father, however, said that his son likes to play hide and seek. He'll come out naturally when he's tired. At this moment, the neighbors are bringing a wounded horse. Find Mandy's home. Mandy used to be a vet. The translation is the neighbor told Mandy. One's own horse doesn't know what kind of stimulus it received. Pretend to be covered in injuries. A wooden stick is sticking right at the neck position. After the most thorough inspection, Mandy told her neighbor. The wound is not considered serious. There was no injury to the artery in the mother village. At this time, the little boy at the other end vaguely heard the voice of a young goat. About to catch up. Figure appeared behind boy during day. Boy wakes. Found the woman who attacked me recently. Staring at oneself. At this time, after a burst of colorful light passed through the woman's pupils, entered the boy's body. At this moment, the other end of Mandy. Search every corner of the house. After not finding my son, preparing to gather nearby neighbors to help search. The little boy appeared behind him, looking at the claw marks on his son's body. Mandy asked her son if someone took him away. However, the boy's eyes repeated mysteriously. The translation is woman's word in the forest. While the boy fainted, strange things keep happening. After waking up, the woman in the forest heard a male voice of mud. Following the sound, I looked over. A small wolf appeared in front of me. Near Mandy's farm, a man wearing a mask suddenly appeared. Around the boundaries of the farm, the entire farm was fenced off, but the neighbor who wanted to leave the farm discovered. This location is disturbed by a magnetic field. Power failure instantly. Suddenly, Mandy's family in a tough spot. Toma Mindy is love. Went away and his neighbor rode horses away to seek help. I noticed a car with its lights on at the edge of the farm. As Tom and Dawe approached for help, the masked man pointed at the blue line on the ground, warned both of them not to get deeper into it. To express the meaning more clearly, the masked man trapped the two individuals inside the circle, and this circle is their operating range. Right here is the forest dragon and the wolf, following the neighbor's appearance. When Tom and the two of them wanted to step forward to help, the neighbor forcefully flung the Jiao wolf off his body. The position where the dragon and wolf landed was just outside the blue line. The flesh on his body began to rapidly burst from within outwards. Bones grow rapidly. So far, Tom and the two finally realized the consequences of sinking deeper. Tom approached to ask, "What is going on?" The masked man once again told the two, "Do not trust anyone." They then drove away from here. The neighbor's wife appeared with a dog. The neighbor's wife wants to go home. Right before falling deeper, the dog in hand is extremely afraid and struggles to break free from restraints. The dog's reaction further strengthened the woman's desire to go back home. Help me help. A man naturally wants to be close to his wife. Decay quick and deep wound. A pioneer woman, dragon and wolf sim, died in a strange pose outside the line. At this moment, the boy in the room told Mandy. A voice in her head told her, "They're already trapped here. If you want to stay alive, you need to hide. You will kill everyone." Based on the information left by the masked man last night, the spooky border should be a yuan. As long as they can find friends outside of their circle, maybe they can escape alive. However, when Tom and the other person entered the forest, they found that NA not only covered their farm and extended into the depth of the forest. Tom and David followed afterwards, following the blue boundary, found another village along the way. However, when the two entered the village, they discovered the people here may not be more entangled, but still died. The two of them only understood at this moment. Do not get more involved than the man in the mask said. It's not about protecting them at all. Instead, they imitated them and left. David checked the stable. The door closed suddenly. Tom inspected the house inside. I heard coughing coming from the basement. Is anyone in the basement? In a house. The little boy Aloe tells his sister Lisa. She's a prophet. The translation is, and a real Aloe. She is sleeping in her body now. Remember when Aloe told Mandy last night? Something is about to approach. And the purpose of this thing is to kill everyone. Lisa felt a little scared for a moment. Simple rainbow drawing seen by Aloe. Suddenly, he uttered an odd phrase. Escaping capture doesn't mean avoiding confinement. Aloe's body prophetess within, remembering something. After emptying Buri's home, pulling Lisa wanting to go somewhere. Xiao Shuai said, facing the unknown, it's best for them to stay in the original place. And Aloe suddenly changes identities to tell Lisa. I hope they will obey. Another voice guiding inside Arlo. Lisa and Xiao Shuai follow the guidance of the seer within Arlo's body, found in the depths of the forest. A pit that looks like it has been burned by people. Next to the fire pit lay the carcasses of dead animals. Since translates the seer told these people. This is where he fell. The translation of English is the food of the seer. But this thing, for humans, it is poison. And that restricts everyone's range of movement. Blue boundary. Actually, it's something. The means of capturing a precog. Seer's task to be carried out. There is a threat of darkness. As Lisa inquired about the content of the secret mission, I heard the sound of vehicles passing by. At this time, the captain's wife is beautiful. And Tom's mother found. A car approaches. Man nearing the limit. Two people yell loudly. Men hope to leave, but man still crossed the limit. Rosen told the two individuals. The translation into is this blue boundary. Enter but not exit. But he came here just to solve what happened on the farm. NA. If everyone wants to leave here safely, besides the woman who was killed by the Proud Wolf, we also need to find out before the woman dies. People who have had contact with. Dabei hört diese Würz? NA. However, Mandy noticed the book bag on Rosen's waist. Just now, Mandy saw in the forest the woman killed by the arrogant wolf. There are traces of a book bag tied on the woman's hands. So Mandy led Rosen into the ancient cabin. After the usual pleasantries, Mandy exposed the flaws in Rosen's encryption. Rosen is not here to save him at all, but to seek escape from women, and the seer transferred to Alro. At this time, Lisa and a group of people are at the other end. Follow the sound of the car. Discover the masked man slipping past the boundary. The masked man demands Little Handsome throw the rainbow-colored liquid she has in her hand. Although Lisa and a few others do not know how to use the liquid. However, the masked man will not want something useless. So I chose to refuse. But after being rejected, the man in the mask unexpectedly entered the boundary directly. Want to snatch away the rainbow liquid. Amidst the scramble, the liquid in the bottle was shattered. The masked man was defeated by Little Handsome, injured among the prepared knives. After removing the mask, the man in the mask looked fearfully at Aloe in front of him. He recognized the Oracle of Fate on Aloe with a glance. He has always wanted to protect the seers. But as success looms near, the woman suddenly fled. And now, the precognitives have appeared once again. Yes, you did it. NA. Tom's mother's protective instincts towards her family. NA. After a rainbow-colored light wave flashed in Rosen's eyes, transferred something to Tom's mother's body. Tom and David entered the deep mountains. Want to find the boundary of the entire seal. However, when the two arrived at the nearby village, they discovered the people in the village have all died mysteriously. David and Tom split up and acted separately. When trying to determine the reasons for their deaths, Tom was puzzled by the odd things in the room, pulled into the basement, and David found a pearl inside the ancient cabin. But anyway, drifting away from home, just as David was about to reach out and touch it, a spider landed on his hand, then gradually drifting towards the strange tree in front of me. As you approach the tree trunk, the spider disintegrated in an instant. Tom, who woke up on the other end, discovered I had just let myself down. He's a young man. Tom told the young man, Jay, I just got hurt again. See, it can help. But Jay didn't believe at all. Seek medical attention when injured, instead of appearing here. Subsequently, NA. But rather a trap. A city that obstructs life. Not long ago, when Jay was at work, he encountered a peculiar African-American. The black person seems to be drunk. Keep talking nonstop. Aliens have established an invisible presence on Earth, but a real trap exists. As soon as you step into that trap, it will immediately explode. And the African-American happened to know the location of that trap. Alien trap explosion. These words were spoken from the meandering mouths of black individuals. Onlookers all thought he had drunk too much. Just a black man rolling up his sleeves. He was dressed in all black. Under the black blanket. Just a black man rolling up his sleeves, his arm exposed with full of scars. He told those who mocked him, that is the consequence of him narrowly missing that trap. There is no need to be seen. That trap can harm people invisibly. Later, the man was unable to drive because he had been drinking. Jay asked the man when he left, what is the so-called trap exactly? How does it work? Where does it come from? Men can't even say 1, 2, 3. Justelje. Traps really exist. And the energy source is something that emits a rainbow-like glow. Jay's trap truly exists. And the energy source is something that emits a rainbow-like glow. Men's response. Jay smiled and passed by without taking it seriously. In the following period, Jay and men are like a forgotten youth. The translation is the man shared what he knew. All things about aliens. Jay then addressed audiences of various backgrounds. No rebuttal, no ridicule. Listening to a man speak is like listening to a story. On that day, the man told Jay, some aliens do not have bodies, living in quiet solitude alongside humanity. But just like humans, aliens also have differences between good and bad, flirting with the opposite sex. It is to eliminate those bad aliens. They have now targeted a human who was attacked by aliens. In the 2 years that they tracked the woman's life trajectory has always been very normal. However, recently, women frequently purchase items such as zip ties, firearms, and other goods, incorporating recent popular activities. They know that new aliens are about to land, and a woman's goal is to hunt and kill new aliens. Very quickly, it's time for new visitors to arrive. The translation is a hey in the group. Alice, along with the women surrounding her, arrived in the village. I saw a woman at the door possessed. Soon after, several people wearing masks arrived in front of the woman's room. Leave a message after Dake's warning for others inside the house. Rosen rushed into the house with Alice to control her. Jay is responsible for filling the simple water pool with water. Then proceed to the next step according to the process. At that moment, gunshots rang out inside the house. The two of them not only failed to control Alice, and resulting in the death of new visitor's family members. After killing the new visitor, the woman, inside the bone repository at the rear chamber, poured a strange rainbow-colored liquid out on the ground. Rainbow-colored liquid quickly takes root and sprouts, grew into a shining strange art. At this moment, Dahae appeared with the woman who was staying with the new visitor. Amidst terror, the woman successfully untied herself and escaped. Upon seeing the alien energy source inside the bone vault, Dahae turned around and left. The woman in the bone warehouse is setting traps. Dahae needs to arrive at a certain place before the trap succeeds. Alice. After Dahae left, the woman who successfully set up the trap found Jay. She transferred the alien inside her body to Jay's body. Who are you? After the aliens departed, the woman lost Jay just now, designing towards Jay. It was instinctive to later find out that it was of no use. Jay solves women completely after being controlled by aliens. At this moment, Rosen appeared from the house. After seeing Jay injured and fall to the ground, I immediately went over to help. As soon as Rosen takes off the mask, the alien on Jay's body transferred once again. Entered Rosen's body. I'm sorry. I am worried. Through Jay's memories, Tom finally learned about the origin of the border of the sealed village. Since I know the trap is set, Tom is thinking maybe he can find a way. Energy supply to contact traps. However, Jay said, to solve the problem, you must find the person who rang the bell, apart from the aliens setting traps. After saying these words, Jay threw a dagger to Tom, then chose to take one's own life. The translation into English is discovered that the number of energy sources has risen to the doorstep. David cannot leave at all. Don't move. Let me go. It got closer. Looking at the wooden stockroom, Tom found an axe. Successfully dragged David out of the stockroom. On the way back, as the two returned, encountered Arlo, Tisha, and their group in the forest. And the disappeared Dahe happened to be right in the middle of it. Help Jay when he has been taken in by aliens. Aliens transferred into Rosen's body. Return to the village. He wants to find an advance. The translation is the trap residing on Arrow's body. And resolve it. Mandispo was tied up in the thigh compartment later. But when Tom's mother Ellen appeared, successfully transfer aliens again. To cover up the alien transfer, Alan created the illusion of Rose's suicide out of guilt. Then returned to the room and prepared a dagger, a syringe, and a vial of unformulated medication. Alan's physical strength, not enough to complete the task of hunting down the prophet. He needs to find another transfer target. At this time, Tom, David, and their group returned smoothly to the village, talking about Nick and his mother Laya. When rainbow-colored liquid is able to cross borders, David happened to overhear the whole thing. David asked Nick to help him find those liquids. Several people came to the village forest again, found only a little rainbow-colored liquid remaining after the bottle was damaged. However, David was just like how Dahe described at that time, as if bewitched by the siren's song. With no vitality in their eyes, they stood motionless. Just then, a dragon wolf appeared. The roar of the dragon brought David back to reality. The translation is the dragon wolf will break the bottle inside. There is not much liquid left in the iron stone. Then safely cross the border in front of the three people. Although the three were very regretful that the liquid was already gone, but at least a method of leaving has been determined. Nick discovered the lost diary of Big Black through the depicted face masks and information. Perhaps we can find another way out. At the same time, Duke brought Tom to the second floor of the old warehouse. Based on what Jay said before his death, the aliens have transferred into Rosen's body. Now Rosen is dead. The aliens have undoubtedly moved to the last person who saw Rosen. Duke on the side told Tom when he discovered Rosen's body. Tom's mother Ellen happened to be present at the scene. Alan said that Rosen was too comfortable and wanted to escape. I had to shoot in self-defense. But when Tom arrived at his mother's room, discovering that Alan has already disappeared. However, the other end of Dahe woke up at this moment, pointed the gun at Arlo. A few minutes ago, the prophets gathered around Arlo told Mandy. His task is to, before being awakened, find and close the energy fluid, to take the initiative in the upcoming invasion. And these words happen to be heard by the large black cat on the bed. The assassin has already arrived here. It could also happen to anyone. Only let her take Arlo. Only by holding her can Arrow's safety be ensured. Tom suddenly flashed forward from behind. Conditions were created for Mandy and a few others to leave. But Dahe also took advantage of this time to leave. She absolutely cannot be trapped here. In the evening, Tom, Dad, Luke, after searching through all the rooms several people finally found Alan in the carriage. But at this moment, Alan's fingers began to tremble again. Ayaz Bakan. It feels like going back to the state before being gathered. Although Alan claims he knows nothing. But at a critical moment, no one dares to easily believe. Aliens may be hiding within Alan. It could also have been transferred to someone else. Before finding Alan, everyone is in a state of individual action. Everyone is figuring out who is most likely to be gathered. But only Leia remains silent throughout. Not a word spoken. No one knows. Before David entered the warehouse, a shadow passed behind Leia. Everyone unanimously decided, until the Assassin's Collective is found, no one is allowed to leave this house. Everyone needs to stay vigilant, staring at each other. Nick and a few others appeared with Big Black's diary, although I didn't find a way out. However, they found it. Methods of extracting the assassin from the human body. That's why Dahe and Rosen were capturing Alice when. Please prepare a large bucket of water, Yui. Only in this way can assassins be driven out from within the human body. After Dahe escaped from the small town, remembering that the assassin had already appeared in the town, Arlov's prophets have nowhere to escape. Dahe wants to cross the border and has already thought about it. Just as Dahe was about to cross the boundary, suddenly remembered, there is something that can help him safely leave here. So I returned to the place where I had once captured the assassin Alice with Rosen. Yui couldn't stand the hopeless waiting anymore. Self-understanding. Keep some rainbow-colored liquid. As long as this thing is here, Dahe can successfully cross the border and leave here. Meanwhile, in the other village, the appearance of the assassin let Mandy's trust between her and her partner shatter. Every person could have been infiltrated by extraterrestrial assassins. And in order to protect Arlo, Mandy chose to stick close to Nick, staring at Alro's room. At this moment, Aaron talks to Leah about how he felt when he was possessed. It feels as though one is completely isolated in another space. I have no control over my own body. And when she woke up again, it has already appeared inside the barn. Nah. What did you do after being possessed? Alan probably doesn't know. To determine who the assassin is, or to exclude oneself as a suspect, Leia, according to the timeline, listed everyone's movements from last night. But when searching for Alan, Everyone has acted alone at some point. Everyone can avoid each other. It seems like I noticed something unusual. After making up an excuse, he left immediately. Found Nicole guarding at the entrance of Allure. Leah tells Nicole they must leave immediately now. She already knows the host of the extraterrestrial assassin. At this moment, Tang Mu at the other end came up with a solution. After lighting the bonfire, as long as the patrol passing through here sees smoke, they have hope of getting the word out from here. However, Dawei and Duke thought that this efficiency was too low. The first, it is uncertain whether Xingxia will come today. Second, this is a farm. Burn fallen leaves. It's just a normal thing. No one will come over just for this bit of smoke. Rather than waiting for the successful signal to be rescued, it's better to find ways to solve the problem completely. Dawei had little gas left in the car. All poured around the stock warehouse. A fire lit the stockpile. Just burn the energy source. The seal will naturally malfunction, but not until the granary was completely burned down. The two found the energy source inside the grain depot, completely unharmed. Just when Dawei and the two of them were feeling very discouraged about it, Black Dragon appears. After taking out the big black item, he told both of them, burning will not have any effect on energy sources, but you could take a deep breath and leave here. At this moment, Lisa inside the room found Aloe muttering nonstop. The sentence is, it's related to the machine that the alien prophet needs to activate. But when Lisa asked Aloe what this thing was, Aloe said he knew nothing. Looking at the lines in your hand, Lisa thought this seemed more like a map. Therefore, Lisa followed the lines drawn by Arlo, compared with a map of the United States. After comparison, it was discovered. The line and the map fit perfectly. The starting point of the line coincides with the village where they are located. The sentence translates to, but the prophet needs to activate the machine in English, just at a place called Mount Burnapu. But when the two people opened the door, they found Nick disappeared outside the door. Lisa realized that danger was looming. Returned to the room promptly. After Dawei and the other person left, Manny found Tom with a note left by Big Black. According to the contents of the note, just submerge anyone possessed by alien assassins in water. When Bingling died, performing artificial respiration and other methods. While at the same time, the alien assassin can be forced out of the body. The possessed person will be saved. But this way is too dangerous, so no one dared to try until the last step. At the same time, Leah brought Nick to the border. Take out the syringe and dagger found in Ellen's room. Leah told Nick, these are the things found on Aloe at the time of arrest. All found in Alan's room. But the problem is the alien assassin. This matter has shifted from Alan. Just as Nick asked who the person being transferred was. A wild sight. As expected, during last night when everyone was searching for Alan, Naomi was already possessed when she was outside the door. Now the alien assassin has successfully transferred to Nick's body. Yia followed the trend and pushed Leah beyond the boundaries. Leia's body instantly decays into maggots. Nick, on the other hand, returned with things. At this time, there were two people in the room, Arlo and Lisa, discussing how to get to Mount Burnapu, even though I knew the end point. But how do we get out now? It has become a big problem. Nick appeared outside the window. Alien assassins in Nick's body. After taking out the syringe and dagger. After gaining Lisa's trust in the same way as before. After the successful transfer of alien, pick up the stone that was just placed beside you. Nick, who had just sobered up, was directly addressed. But possessed Lisa didn't notice. ALO in front of the window just witnessed everything that happened. In the previous episode, David and Duke planned to destroy the energy source. Escape the cage set by aliens. Black appeared after the failure. Dahei told the two people, just fold the value of an alien energy source. Rainbow-colored liquid can eradicate enough for everyone to leave. However, the entire process of folding the numerical value, it will be very painful. After these, David did not care about many things. After drinking the remaining rainbow-colored liquid directly, arriving at the energy source. Just at the moment when David was putting the energy source into the glass bottle, the numerical values dissolved into a puddle of rainbow-colored liquid. Meanwhile, the alien assassin transferred to Lisa through Nick, and all of this happened to be witnessed by Aloe standing in front of the window. Aloe shared this with Mandy's husband and wife. Lisa couldn't find any trace of Aloe after returning to the room, and Mom and Dad also hid away. At this time, Alan took Aloe to the ancient barn outside the window. The alien assassin knows about transferring bodies. Already been discovered. At this moment, when preparing to head to the ancient warehouse. Met Mandy downstairs. Looking at the possessed Lisa in front of me, Mandy couldn't bring herself to do it. This is one's own daughter. Lisa just placed the dagger on her neck. Mandy had no choice but to let Lisa leave. As Lisa passed by the bathroom doorway, Tom hiding in it appeared. After Tom and Mandy put on face masks, Lisa possessed by aliens was pushed into the bathtub. Watching Lisa struggling constantly in the bathtub, although they feel sorry for themselves. But this is the last resort they can think of. Quickly, Lisa in the bathtub no longer struggles. The translation is pupils begin to dilate. Mandy and the other person quickly lifted Lisa out of the bathtub for first aid. Watching Lisa wake up sober, Mandy attacks. The way against the current is indeed effective. The alien successfully forced out of the body. The crisis of obtaining extraterrestrial liquid was successfully averted, and the person quickly returned. Nicole regained consciousness after being knocked out by Lisa. Got the current situation. At that moment, pulling Alan ahead of the polo field from a distance, waved the hand to signal others not to enter the room. Seeing the rainbow-colored liquid in Taihei's hand, Auro knew they could finally leave here safely. So the troops split into two groups. Dawei returned to the house to search for Tom and the other two who were trapped inside. Duke brought Big Black. Nicole and Alan are people. Meet in front of the van when Rosen arrives. As the Duke and his companions pass through the warehouse back door shortly after, I saw Leia being pushed out of the seal boundary. Nick remembered what he had done to his mother at that moment. Collapsed in an instant. Watching the pain Nick, Allo decides to return to the stable. Completely solve the assassin's problem. An event like this should not happen to Leia again. At this moment, Tom is inside the house. When the two of them saved Lisa just now, Tom's mask was accidentally ripped off by Lisa. Despite Tom's rejection, he remains focused. But the alien successfully transferred into Tom's body. Tom followed the alien's instincts. Track Arlo all the way to the stable. During the conversation between the assassin and Arrow, Mandy secretly prepared the poison meant for Allo. At the beginning, Mandy took Allo downstairs. Allo suddenly came up with a solution. Completely trapped the assassin. Later, Mandy used herself as bait. As the alien assassin prepared to transfer into his own body, Tom got injured. But Tom could no longer feel the pain at this moment. Charge at Mandy again after pulling out the dagger. Mandy immediately turned around. Tom, possessed by an assassin, will be stuffed into the refrigerator. Resolve the assassin's issue. The Black General was able to turn the energy source into liquid, pour into the cup one by one. It split into just enough for each person to leave. Dahé took the lead and drank before stepping out of the seal boundary. Looking at the big black one doing nothing, people can finally rest assured as various seals are being broken by outsiders. But Alan chose to stay here. After all, this is her home. The animals at home still need someone to take care of them. Shortly after, the group had just left the seal border. A man and a woman appeared on the road. Mandy was informed by the two of them. She's a member of the organization resisting aliens. I've been communicating with Dahé online all along. After they disappeared, the two quickly traced and found this place. After confirming the information of the two individuals, Dahé relaxed his guard. After all, they were acquaintances from before. Mandy and her group relaxed their guard. The translation is, the woman claimed she needed to pick something up. Want to take out what's in the bag. At this moment, a car rapidly appeared in the distance. A car suddenly appeared. Two people were knocked away by the swift swinging tail. Ready to fire at any moment. Two people wearing masks got off the car at this time. The man was from the woman's bag a moment ago. Poured out several bags, anesthetic drugs, and liquid sources of energy production. And the woman told Mandy. The translation is two people just now. Actually, they are two out of countless extraterrestrial assassins. They want to survive.